Hello, everyone. My name is James Rosas, and welcome to our Week 5 discussion board on Capital Improvement Project. For a brief overview, I'm going to discuss the city and the capital improvement project that I selected. I'm going to do an assessment of some long-term debt options, advantages and disadvantages of those, and then a brief conclusion. All right, started off with the city and the capital improvement project I selected. I decided to go with the city of Cypress, and they actually finally finishing up the Arnold Cypress Park. For those of you who don't know, this park is going to be park is brand new, and it's expected to be finished in roughly early 2025. But this has a ton of amenities from pickleball courts to baseball fields. I mean, this is pretty awesome. Basketball courts. I mean, this is a pretty big endeavor that they're handling that the city took on, right? And then anyone that's coming in, and I think that they're going to be really appreciative, especially the citizens. Now, to go over just a brief highlight of the CIP, um, it says that here that CIP, it's long-term planning investment for their facilities. Um, and it's totaling out for about 13 million. So in the chart right below this, it shows from street projects to sewer projects, parkway projects, all the way down, equaling out to about 25 or 13 million for the years 2024, 2025. Now they do leave out a big portion of this because obviously to redo this park for any type of renovation, it's going to be a lot of money. So the Cypress Recreation and Park District is the one that's actually taking the hit. So this department. So the city has actually loaned itself roughly $33.5 million to rebuild this park, right? And it's pretty big. This is one of the largest, CIP investments that the city of Cypress has actually made. So this is pretty interesting to see, how this is being built and then how you see it from the number side. So when we look at the chart right here, it does show adopted 23-24 and then estimated 23-24. And when we look all the way down to the capital projects, we can see that it's $29 million for the adopted for 23-24, and then it actually skyrockets to 41 million for 23-24 estimated. And then in 24-25, it drops down to 1.5 billion. Um, a difference of about 94%. Now, this is a big deal because like I said, this is costing about $33.5 million to, the recreation and park district to do all the renovation, right? And then they're using it, or they're using tax income to repay the loan plus interest for over the next 20 years, right? So luckily enough, this is a 2% interest rate that, the city is handling. So it's not that big of it is a big deal, but it's not that big of a hit when you look at it in hindsight. And it's not going to be that impactful because luckily enough, Cyprus does have a pretty strong, financial background. They have a good rapport with its citizens. And even if they do any type of tax increase or they even, pull from their general fund, so those, that funding might go down a little bit more, they're going to be okay, right? As long as it's not too extensive, they should be all right. Some advantages and disadvantages of long-term debt. I want to stick with municipal bonds here. I know there's a few under there, like COP, but that does deal more so with leasing, I believe, and I don't think that this would be applicable for this type of project. So a general bond or geo bond, this is something that is backed by whatever government agency is providing it, right? So they could back it with their taxing power. Um, and move forward from there. So this is actually really good for investors, and this is one of the key advantages, just because it does have lower interest rates due to the government backing, because the government could increase taxes kind of whenever they want. It's not going to be anything drastic or major, or anything like that, but it would be suitable for larger projects like schools or infrastructures or parks of this magnitude, as I'm talking about. Some disadvantages, really the only one is that it does need voter backing. So if something needs to be completed, whether it be roads, streetlights, whatever, you would have to have the voters, basically vote on this. The second would be the revenue bond, and just like the name puts forward, is this bond would get paid back with the amount of revenue that it, brings in from its project, right? So typically this would be for larger things like, stadiums or community centers, whatever money's being charged that facility is using to charge, it's going to be used to pay back for that. Now, either though both of these are really good, I would stick with the obligation bond just because this is has a lower interest rate and it has backing by the government, so the investors would actually be more likely or more interested to move forward with a general obligation bond. You can actually do this for more long distances, which would be really good. And it's actually good for the citizens as well. This way, they're not taxed super heavy, and they're paying over incrementally. And in conclusion, we went over the city of Cyprus. We went over their CIP, which project I decided to go with, which is the Arnold Cypress Park, with some disadvantages and advantages of the types of bonds that were selected and how much this park actually costs to be completed. Thank you.